that are locked in their lower conscious, their unconscious. One of you guys would like to share your story? How are y'all doing?
Yes, I would like to share quickly my first impression of doing the TM meditation is I'm going deeper in me, and learning about myself. And every time I do the TM, when I come back, I feel better. The sensation of calm and connection with myself, my higher self, and the presence that I am. And I feel that anything that I want to overcome in my own program, I feel that is going on this purpose of overcoming that things that I want to overcome. So it's been a wonderful experience every time that I do it, and I'm enjoying doing it. Thank you.
Thank you, Angelo. Anyone else? I'm going to play a couple of videos for you guys, and we're going to go into our lesson. And as you get a better understanding of the mind and how it works, again, if you don't know how it works, you don't know how you work. And you don't know why you keep getting the results you're getting. Everyone wants better results, but it's very rare you find people that are actually getting better results. They truly want to go beyond what they know, but they don't know how to go beyond that. Why? Because they're getting to the limitations of what they know. And everybody eventually gets to the limitations of what they know. But when you do, that what they don't know is that they normally fear going beyond that. And this is normally where everybody gets stuck. They fear going beyond because they don't know how to go beyond. And they're afraid of failure. They're afraid of not knowing. They're afraid of what people are going to say. They're afraid of what they think about themselves and how other people see them. And everybody has a critic. That critic's outside of them, that critic's inside. And it's going to be the critic that's inside this normally telling you what to do. And that critic is your lower consciousness, your unconsciousness. And that's really what controls your behavior. It controls what you do. So we're going to play this. Video. It's with David Lynch, and he's talking as a movie director. He's talking about, and there's several people that are in movies and in theater and sports athletes as well that use TM. This is going to explain why.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here in Boston, and thank you very much for coming here tonight.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, I teach film, I make films. I would like to know, I'm not a meditator. What does meditation, can you say anything about how meditation might connects to your creative process or might help the creative process of my students or myself?
Yes, I can.
Will you?
Yes, I will. Tonight's talk is consciousness, creativity, and the brain. And if you have a golf ball size consciousness, when you read a book, you'll have a golf ball size understanding. When you look out, a golf ball size awareness. And when you wake up in the morning, a golf ball size wakefulness. But if you could expand that consciousness, then you read the book, more understanding. You look out, more awareness. And when you wake up, more wakefulness. It's consciousness. And there's an ocean of pure, vibrant consciousness inside each one of us. And it's right at the source and base of mind, right at the source of thought, and it's also at the source of all matter. And Maharishi Mahesh Yogi teaches a technique called transcendental meditation. That's a simple, easy, effortless technique, yet supremely profound, that allows any human being to dive within, experiencing subtler levels of mind and intellect, and transcend and experience this ocean of pure consciousness. This pure consciousness is called by modern physics the unified field. It's at the base of all mind and all matter. And they now say, modern science says, all of matter, everything that is a thing, emerges from this field. And this field has qualities like bliss, intelligence, creativity, universal love, energy, peace. And it's not the intellectual understanding of this field, but the experiencing of it that does everything. You dive within and transcending, experiencing this field of pure consciousness, and you enliven it, you unfold it, it grows. And the final outcome of this growth of consciousness is called enlightenment. And enlightenment is the full potential of all of us human beings. And a side effect of enlivening this consciousness is negativity starts to recede. When I started meditating, I was filled with anxieties, filled with fears, kind of a depression and anger. And I took this anger out on my first wife. And after 2 weeks of meditation, she comes to me and she says, "What's going on?" And I was quiet for a moment because it could have been any number of things she might have been referring to. But I finally said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "This anger, where did it go?" And I didn't even realize it had lifted. Now, these negative things like anger and depression and sorrow, they're beautiful things in a story, but they're like a poison to the filmmaker. They're a poison to the painter. They're poison to creativity. They're like a vice grip. If you are super depressed, you can't hardly get out of bed, let alone think ideas, have that creativity flowing. So it's money in the bank to get that beautiful consciousness growing, which is flowing creativity, the ability to catch ideas at a deeper level. Intuition grows. This field is a field of pure knowingness. You dive in there, you sort of just know how to go. You know how to solve solutions. It's like an ocean of solutions. And you can just feel this thing growing. But the ultimate thing for me is the enjoyment of the doing, the enjoyment of life grows huge. I love making films now more than ever before. Ideas flow more. Everybody has more fun on the set. Creativity flows. There's no, people look like friends and not like enemies. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing, and it's us. In Vedic science, this field of pure consciousness is called Atma, the self of us all. At that level, as Dr. John Hagelin would tell you, at that level of life, we are all one. We're one. Diversity up here, unity down below. It's a great thing for the filmmaker.
Thank you.
I would like to have a glass of water, if that's possible. Okay. Hey, Jay, bless you, man. This is Jay, my friend and assistant. It's really good. It's not quite as good as pure consciousness, but it's really good.
Hello.
How you doing?
Not bad. How are you?
Good.
Well, my name is Alex Harvey. I've been meditating for a while. I want to know if there was a moment where you realized the effect that pure consciousness had on your work.
right from the very beginning. And like I said, I might have been, I think I had so many anxieties and fears, and I felt those lifting. And bliss is a thing in this field, the unified field. Bliss, they say, is the sweetest nectar of life. Bliss is physical, emotional, mental, spiritual happiness. And you can vibrate with this bliss. And it's this happiness from within. They have a saying, true happiness isn't out there. True happiness lies within. And I always wondered, where is this within? And they don't say where it is. And then they don't even say how to get to it. This is the beauty of this technique. There's lots of forms of meditation, but with transcendental meditation, to me, the key is the word transcend, to dive all the way in. It's a huge realm between the surface of life and this fundamental pure consciousness, but it's there. And when you're in it, you know you're in it. It's familiar, but it's you. And right away, a happiness, but it's not like a goofball happiness. It's a thick beauty. It's a thick beauty to appreciate life and living. And why suffer? Suffering starts to go. And people say, well, you got to have anger. You got to have an edge, to create. You got to know about anger. You got to have energy. You got to have clarity to create. You got to be able to catch ideas. You got to be able to be strong enough to fight unbelievable pressure and stress and the whole thing in this world. That will lift, because this whole thing is tied to world peace, but it's going to be a better world, but it's still a very tough world. And this just gives you more and more and more ability to say, it just looks beautiful. It's way, 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 way better. And this happened right away.
Thank you.
You bet.
Hi, my name is Bob Roth, and I'd like to welcome you to this short introduction.
So here we are talking about transcend, to go within. And what we're talking about is going within our own consciousness. And that's why it becomes so familiar to us, and also gives us the ability and the opportunity to change ourselves. You see, you can never go outside of yourself. Everything that you are is mind. The only thing that you could ever change is your mindset. Now, we go through this image quite often, and we go through the stick person. And I'm going to show it to you in the same way. Actually, I'm going to do it in both ways, because we do this quite often. And it's about getting a better understanding of who you are. And the reason you want to get a better understanding of who you are is because you're much more than just a body. You are a spiritual being experiencing a physical reality. And we say this over and over and over again. But do we really understand what that means? The more we look into the science of the mind, consciousness, and what we do a lot of research. I've devoted my life, and I will devote the rest of my life to learning who I am and developing who I am, so that I may better develop other people around me, so that I may give other people opportunities to live the life they desire. This is not just about your personal gratifications. This is about really helping people. And because this is the why is leaving everyone better than when you met them. And if we can have this habit of always leaving people better off, we can help a lot of people. My goal is to develop these institutes globally that are helping people globally at a global level. And when I leave, that there is a platform for consciousness to continue to evolve. There's a platform to give people opportunities in different cities, in different countries, because we don't know where we came in. We came into a body. We came into a body. And there's people that are coming in and out, which is their spirit. Your spiritual essence comes into a body. It came into a family, a timeline. And we don't know where this is happening, but it's happening all over the world. Little children being born all the time. But what's happening is they're coming into that time, that timeline, just like me. Others came into a body. And as we come into this body, we're coming into their awareness. We're coming into that country. We're coming into that awareness, that lifeline. And we do the only thing that we can do. We begin to think, act, walk, and talk like them. And as we begin to think, walk, talk, and act like them, we take on their behaviors, their awareness, the way of thinking, the way of doing things. Now, when science was looking at matter, they wanted to understand what makes it a solid. Vehicles, your home, everything in the home. When you look at matter, and I want you to think about this, everything that we see as matter that is man-made, if you take everything that's man-made away, what do you have? Nature. So everything outside of nature is man-made. Everything outside, this is big, this is huge, it's so huge. Everything outside of nature is man-made. Man has designed it. Man is the only one that we know at this time that is able to go beyond nature. If you were to take everything that is man-made, this phone, the TV you're looking at, the tube, the iPhone, the iPad, your telephone, everything that you hold, if you were to banish that imagination, you would have nothing. In the nothing is everything. Now let's look at this. Science is looking for consciousness and where it starts. They want to understand how life works. They want to understand how life works. I want to understand how life works. Why? 'Cause I want to have a better life. I want to live better, do better, have better. Now, life is intelligence. Intelligence that's thinking. So when we look at awareness, we don't see a dolphin, even though they're very smart, going beyond and creating its own environment. We don't see a horse or a pig creating a new environment. It does not want to live in this environment. Man is the only one that we know of right now that has to create his own environment and does not want to live within the confines of nature. So everything that's man-made, as scientists were looking into this unknown factor, trying to find the known, they're looking into this material state, molecules, atoms. They keep looking at electrons, photons, neutrons. We keep going down, 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 down. And we get to these four elements. The four became three. Three became two. And then we came into the unified field. Everything that is a thing comes from this thing. This thing of nothing but everything. Everything that is a thing comes from this thing. Unified field of energy. Think of all the ideas in this field of consciousness. Comes from this energy. Anything that is a thing comes from this energy. Now look at man. Man came from this energy. Everything outside of nature lives in nature. When we look at man, man came in from a male and a female energy, from nature, from Mother Earth. But as these two energies come together, sprouts in another energy. What is the energy that takes man outside of nature? Pure light. What is this pure light? It could be anything. Let's look at consciousness. It could be anything. As this energy, this combination of mother, father, bring another little child in, this energy begins to flow and comes up, and it begins to what we call think. Isn't that beautiful? This energy comes up and it begins to think. It begins to imagine. And it wants to go beyond nature. So it begins to think. Where does it think from? Where does it get its ideas? Well, the only place it ever could get is ideas. You cannot see this energy. But it's going back into tapping into this unified field of energy. Now, we're showing this illustration of the stick person, which gives us a really good idea of consciousness and the way it works. We use the stick person so that we can understand energy and the way we think. This is the lower consciousness, subconscious. In the subconscious is our filing cabinet. We go into this filing cabinet to retrieve our information of where we're going. But we're getting this information from where we came in from. All these X-type ideas. We entangled with them, which we call entanglement. How is this so? Well, as we come into our consciousness, and this is happening every second we come into our consciousness. We come into our field of consciousness. But as we come into this field, as we think, we take the ideas that we came into, and then we'll group a pocket of energy around it, which is emotion, and we internalize it. And that is where we think from. As we go into our memory bank, when you start to think, thinking means imagining. So as this intelligence begins to think of what's next, it places its ideas and it entangles with it. And this is the memory from which you use. So the average individual gets to the limit of their thinking capacity. And when they do not know what to do next, they simply and automatically go back to what they know. So what's coming out here is actually a reflection of what's going on down here, lower consciousness. Everything that is a thing emerges from this thing. Now, when we look at your consciousness, because it's pure light, pure intelligence, but it is entangling, this is called entanglement, it is entangling with the ideas that it was programmed with. So as you come out of yourself, which is called thinking, you are releasing ideas from past memories. So you do the only thing you can do. You release more of what you know. This is what I know, what you know. This is why personal development is so important, because the truth is you are continually developing yourself. You're continually releasing and developing more of yourself. You do what you know, more of your self. But who's the real me? Because every now and then you find somebody, or every now and then you do tap into this higher consciousness and you get an idea that is beyond what you know. Where are you going when you go back in and you go beyond what you know? You're going into the unified field where all energy is. Look at this. When you get an idea that is beyond what you know, you tap into this infinite field of consciousness. But as you begin to bring that idea into your field of thinking, you reject that idea. Why? Because you don't know how to do that. And if you don't know how to do that, you will reject your ability to go beyond what you know. Now let's look at matter as we see it. Let's look at intelligence. Life, primal substance was the promise. This life, this livingness that's in you and me, this primal substance was the promise. Life was the promise. This promise gives life to this intelligence. Therefore, here comes fulfilling experiences. The fulfillment of the experience solely is the effect. Let's look at this. Hit the wrong button here. The promise was life. The life is spiritual. Spirit goes into a body, and because it goes into a body, it goes into its intelligence. Here's the deal. Here's why people get stuck. Life is the promise, and it goes into this. Here's the promise. Life is the promise, and life goes into this intelligence. Therefore, given life to these ideas, and this intelligence thinks, and it begins to fulfill experiences. And it begins to fulfill these experiences. It's just giving more of what it is. Fulfillment and then experience is something outside of yourself, something that you see out here. Why is this so important? Because it's your whole life. You're giving your whole life to your awareness. The thing is, we want to change it. And this is what TM does. Transcendental meditation helps. We have two different types of meditation. One that's helping you go back in and erase this entanglement that's stopping you. All these fears about yourself, let's put these fears in here. Fear, doubt, worry. Every time you go into an unknown, let's say you got an idea that begins to come to the surface. This red idea is not what you know. So here comes the fear, the doubt, and the worry, and the past, because it has no idea how to do that. They entangle with that. And they say, no, you do not know how to go there. Let it go. By the time it gets up here to your consciousness, the average individual has already made a decision. By the time your idea arrives to your conscious mind, you've already decided what you're going to do down here. This is big. It's huge because this is your whole life. So TM is helping you go under the consciousness, go under the radar, and begin to release these pockets of information. And as you can go back in and release these pockets of information, you actually begin to give yourself the opportunity to dream. As you release these pockets of information, every day, day by day that you're using TM, you're actually coming in here and you're erasing these fears, the doubts, the worries, the emotional impacts, the paradigms, the programs that are holding you back. You're beginning to release this area of flow of consciousness so that you can do what? Tap into this unified field. Have more flow. So we do two different meditations. One, awakened imagination meditation, AI, awakened imagination, letting more of this unified field come through, work to and through you. TM, to go beyond what's known to who I am is. Your I am is the highest part of your personality. But you've got to come down through this and entangle with what you are. And then you bring it back up to the surface. And then you can bring it into form. Why is this so important? Because the average individual will not do, and they just go back to what they know. What is possible? Anything is possible. But you're going to do what you do unless you change the way you think. You will continue to do what you know until you change what you are.
This is a donut. It is very sweet and very good. But if you've never tasted a donut, you wouldn't really know how sweet and how good a donut is if you'd never had that experience. Transcendental meditation is like that. Transcendental meditation gives an experience much sweeter than the sweetness of this donut. It gives the experience of the sweetest nectar of life, pure bliss consciousness. As Maharishi says, those who don't know, they don't know. Those who know, they enjoy. I hope this following documentary gives you some good news about the sweetness of life. Represents the surface. This here represents the surface of life. Surface. And we see surfaces, surfaces. And about 300 years ago, scientists, they started wondering, what was this wood, and what was this metal, and what was it really? So they start looking into matter. So this side is matter, and this side is mind. Mind and matter. And the scientists, well, they discovered molecules. Deeper they went, and they discovered these atoms. And like I say, they thought that was the smallest particle for a long time. All these things we learn about in school. They went deeper, and they find inside the atoms these little electrons and neutrons and protons. And they went deeper and deeper and deeper, smaller and smaller particles, smaller and smaller particles. They found 4 forces. On a deeper level, the 4 became 3. And on a deeper level, the 3 became 2. And then, about 30 years ago, modern science, quantum physics, discovered the unified field. The unity of all the particles and all the forces of matter, of creation. Not only did they discover the unified field, but they found that everything that is a thing emerges from this field of no thing. Unmanifest it is. Unmanifest. It is no hyphen thing, but all things come from it. Anything that is a thing has emerged from this field of unity. It's oneness. The scientists know this exists, but if they wanted to get there, you can't get there. It's unmanifest. You can't walk into this field. But any one of those scientists could practice a technique, transcendental meditation, which, remember, true happiness is not out there. You're given a mantra, a very specific sound, vibration, thought. Very specific. It needs to be life-supporting at all deeper levels. And that mantra that you're given, that Maharishi gives, the key that opens the door. The mantra turns the mind within, turns the awareness within, and you naturally dive. Why is it natural? Because each deeper level of mind and each deeper level of intellect has more happiness. And the deeper levels of mind and deeper levels of intellect correspond.
Now here we go. As we're going in, causing that same consciousness that comes out, we come out of our consciousness, we come through our own ideas. Mom, dad, relationships, him, her, it, them. We come through this consciousness as we think, it, them, she, and we come out of our consciousness. And this is happening every second. The mind is perpetual transmutation of thought energy. Every second you're thinking of ideas and you're just coming out of yourself. You just continually are coming out of your own consciousness. You continually think and you are evolving and developing more of what you know. So the average individual just continues to gather their information. Here's the problem. They continue to gather their information. But you think, when I say their information, it's not their information. You're gathering everybody else's ideas you came into to think. Or even you surround yourself with right now. You keep gathering everybody's information to think. That's the problem. Actually, what you don't know would free you. It's what you know that's the problem. TM is helping you to turn back into your own consciousness and begin to look at yourself. Begin to break through these pockets of information. And every time you're using this mantra, you're breaking through these pockets of information. And as you continue to come down, go down, 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 you are breaking through the surface and you're actually untangling these ideas to go back to where they were. And some of them, majority of them, as you're going through this, what you're doing is you're erasing those impacts. And as you continue to go down, you're going to the perfection of who you are. Gaining more unconsciousness.
To deeper levels of matter. At the borderline of intellect, you transcend. Transcend is the key word. It means to go beyond. You're going beyond field of relativity, duality, experiencing oneness. Pure, unbounded, infinite consciousness. This
We're at our time here. Pure, unbound consciousness. Now, why are we doing everything that we do as an institute of the mind? Well, we know that there's so much. And we are doing a lot of research, a lot of development within ourselves, of course. And we are looking for the best things that are going to help us to go beyond what we are. We've got all of our programs. We're doing these Monday through Friday. We've got Business Matrix, Creator's Lifestyle, Scaling for Life, different programs you can get started to learn more about yourself. And then we've got these meditation techniques as well. As you are setting goals to achieve these goals, then you learn also to untangle the memory that was holding you back. to let go, so that you can then rewire and refire new awareness, new consciousness. We have the neurofeedback machine. So we're doing the TM, the neurofeedback, and we have all of our programs. We're developing a system to truly take people through the progressive realization of a worthy idea, achieving what it is that you truly desire in life, letting go of those blockages that are holding you back, rewriting your memory, rewriting your life. If you're interested in what we're doing these on English 1 week and Spanish the next, so that we're altering the weeks. You want to know more about this information? Send me a message. This is your whole life. Bet on yourself. You're the only one that could change yourself. Thank you guys, and everyone have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Heard you.
Thank you. Great day, everyone.